Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Kevin Currie-Knight, and I want to formally welcome you to EDUC 3200, Foundations of American Education. In this video, I want to briefly talk to you about kind of the overview of the course and what this course is about, and then just give you a kind of a start for what to do for your very first week. In other videos, I'll explain the syllabus and a bit more about navigating the Blackboard site. So what is Foundations of American Education? The area that we call the social foundations of American education, which is what we're going to study in this course, is things like the history, the philosophy, the sociology, politics of education. And this course has roughly 3 parts. So the first several weeks, we're going to be reading in the history of 20th century American education. We're going to look at things like, the school system that we know and maybe love today. How did it get that way? We have, graded schools. They're, public schools, so they're not generally in the private market. They're publicly provided. Everyone goes. There's compulsory attendance, elementary, secondary, middle school, and then high school. We're going to talk about the basics of how it got that way, and studying the history is going to show us kind of all of the things that happened for the school system to evolve the way it is. From there, I think those things are going to bring up some themes about what is education for? We're going to get more into the philosophy of education next. So after we talk about how education has evolved in the United States, we can start really thinking about, well, could it or should it have evolved differently? Are there things that that might be that we want to fix about the American education system? So we're going to talk about things like how authority works in American education. I mean, traditionally, it's the teacher is in front of the students. The teacher and the school sets the agenda. The students are kind of there to take notes, absorb, and then retain and then recall that information. Is that the optimal way? So we're going to look at alternative visions that philosophers and others have proposed for education. Are those things kind of feasible? Can we incorporate some of those things into the modern school system as we have it? So that's the philosophy section. That's probably where I'm the strongest. I'm a philosopher of education by trade that also does some history. So, but after we get into the philosophy, the last third of the course is going to be really looking at some of the political stuff about education. So you guys are going to be teachers. The politics of education may be far from your minds, but once you're teachers, you are part of that education system. So whatever that education system looks like by way of funding, by way of its structure, is going to affect you. So things like the Common Core curriculum that's coming about. I mean, that is a political thing that came up. It's been in the news. It's been debated politically whether or not it's a good decision. So the history of ed is going to show us kind of why that evolved the way it does. But then we're going to get into the politics of ed, which talks about, is it a politically good thing that we have this? And of course, that's going to tie also into philosophy of education. Is this concordant with what I think the purpose of education is? So history first, philosophy next, and then we're going to go into politics. This is a writing intensive course. You probably see that on the syllabus. It's listed as a writing intensive course at ECU. That means you'll be writing a significant amount. So your final paper, which I'll explain in a little bit later, has you analyzing and critically reflecting on a school improvement plan for a particular school of your choice. And it'll be about maybe 20, 25 pages, I think, probably as the culmination project. You'll turn in a proposal and a rough draft before then, so it's not all at the end. It's not all like you turn in a final draft in one shot. So now that I've gone over briefly what this course is about, I want to share my screen with you on Blackboard so that I can kind of show you exactly what you're going to do for this, our first week. So the first thing you're going to do is all of the readings and all of the stuff you'll have to do from week to week is going to be under course documents. So you're going to go into course documents and you'll see week one's folder. So since it's week one, you're going to open up that folder. And everything here is chronological. So first you read this small article, then you'll watch this video where I just kind of share some thoughts and maybe some questions on the reading. And then there's, at the end of each week, you notice that you have discussion forum posts you would click on here and it would take you into the discussion forum. I don't have any threads created, but I would have some threads here so you would see that way. So you go into there. If you have any questions, of course, you can look on the syllabus. I have live version of, well, you can't see it in my edit mode, but I have a version of the syllabus here. So if you click on syllabus, you can see that. So again, course documents is where you go for week 1's folder. I do have to warn you though that week 1 is going to be a bit weird because week 2's readings, the readings that are due for week 2, so that would start that we start discussing on that Monday, they're in week 2's folder. So after you're done week 1, you want to go into week 2 and get this reading done before the Monday that starts week 2. And then we'll start discussing on the discussion forum all the discussions for week 2. So I'll remind you throughout exactly how this works. So all you have to remember is that the readings that are due on the start of the following week are in that week's folder. So if you're looking for the readings that you're going to start discussing week 3, they are in week 3's folder. And then once you get down to week 3, or once you get down to the bottom, then you can discuss in the discussion forums. So hopefully that's clear. If not, we can we can work that out as it comes. So that concludes the that part of the video. And if you have any questions, of course, you can email me. You can set up a Skype meeting, stuff like that. So anyway, have fun with week 1. I'll see you in the discussion forums.